chair. You're allowed to.
Oh, okay.
But you got to have a human-shaped back to use the backrest of the chair.
Yeah,
Like nothing ergonomic has ever been Dave-shaped. Like right now, like it's using a joke I said before, but he's literally the L shape in Tetris at the moment. So look, we've had a little bit of animosity between Dave and Steve for the last couple of months. Dave has sort of resourcefully avoided Steve for a long, long time, but now Dave has to emotionally pay the piper. Okay, so to have a little bit of backstory. Okay, now I'm just gonna say very generally because like Dave's gonna want to jump in here like it's some sort of like shitty mock trial, but like, Dave was very upset that he didn't get an invite to Steve's wedding. Then Steve went out of his way, basically. I don't know what art of the deal you read to convince your now wife to allow Dave to come, but you managed to make it happen.
Yeah,
now you're actually elated. You're really happy. You went and told Dave he can come to the wedding. Then what happened?
So I can.
Dave,
I wanted to practice
like when
something.
someone points to you, you don't have to
Yeah.
put up your hand like, I will speak now. Is this
May
how you do
I
normal
talk?
conversations?
I didn't know who you pointed to.
You'd be great in the
I was
army,
looking over
just
here.
sitting there on the radio, no one seeing you with your hand up, like not responding. It must be dead. No, so okay, so yes,
I'm
we'd like to
listening,
preface.
Dave. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I would like to apologize to you and Emmy for not being able to come to the wedding.
Okay, now so very interesting choice of words. Not being able to come to the wedding. So were you performing surgery? Were you delivering
so what was
that
the height
emergency
of
kidney
the issues?
transplant?
What was the height?
Well,
Okay.
he got a call from his business associate, Mr. Yakamoto, in Japan, and if he didn't like attend to that call immediately, the business deal worth $1 trillion was going to fall through. Like, it
I've
was
got a friend who's in the Air Force that came from the Northern Territory for my wedding.
Yeah, exactly. So what fucking baby were you saving from a burning building, Dave? So did you get the Order of Metal, Order of Australian Medal? Or?
Also, let's everyone be aware, this is the first time Dave's actually going to tell me why.
Yeah.
He never told me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that they called you in to be the head of like the surgery to remove the conjoined twins. Then what happened?
Can we backtrack? That's not completely
go all the way
correct.
through
I
medical
wasn't
school.
going
Okay.
to.
So Dave, talk us through why
Surgery.
didn't you go to Steve's wedding after? Okay, can I just say to anyone watching this? He whinged and whinged, made complaints to all our friends like, oh, why didn't I get invited? I've known Steve longer than anyone. And he does. He's known Steve longer than me and James. And
Yes,
then he
but that also
complained.
means that I've known you longer and been around you longer and know that you're a risk.
And then you confided in him. He spoke to his fiancee, convinced her to let you go, and then like you stiffed him. So talk us through what happened.
Initially, I believe I received a save the date to your wedding.
Yeah.
This is my version of events. I received a save the date to the wedding,
I like
and
you
then
saying this is contentious. Like, yeah, not many people receive save the dates to weddings, so it was a very unusual affair.
some people
It's
might.
weird because usually with the save the date, you save the date. It kind of
Yeah,
does what it says in the box.
I'm also not sure what you're talking about.
So, as I said, this is my version of events. People have different memories. What happened?
So far, you've
Yeah.
said the most anodyne fact imaginable. Like,
Ah.
if you're trying to like trip him up with his version of events, like, so I got the save the date, and then the wedding happened, and I wasn't there. Look, we've all got different memories. Like, I don't understand what contentious issues you're throwing into the mix here, Dave.
I just want to say also, I apologize for putting you through the stress of it all. Now,
I was stressed about the wedding, not all about you not coming.
so there was the save the date. I received it. Then later on, I didn't get a wedding invite, and I found it a bit sad. I spoke to you about it, and I felt like you probably didn't let me down gently. You talked to me about being a risk, and I understand that. I understand that I'm a risk, but I just found it sad, and I thought you could have done it more civilly.
So this was the first wedding.
The first wedding.
I don't remember giving you a save the date.
Okay.
Did I personally give you a save the date?
Okay. So just for people listening at home, they've just come in like the worst fucking written Days of Our Lives episode of all fucking time. Steve was lined up to get married once, and they rescheduled.
And
Okay, so the second marriage that the second wedding I was going through, Dave was definitely invited, and Steve spoke to you several times. So you can't put it down to I didn't get enough written invitations, even though my friend told me about 40 times that I'm invited. Like.
So this is the first wedding.
Yeah.
I received a save the date, which I thought meant an invite. But later on, I didn't get an invite, so I realized I'm saving the date for what? Just being at home. And then I talked to you about it, and you said you're not invited because I brought over my friend Gary, my eccentric friend Gary.
Eccentric, Reed, highly volatile
Yeah.
and schizophrenic. Yeah.
Very unwell person.
Yeah, very unwell. person.
Mentally
I-
unstable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you shouldn't be injecting into new stressful
Or
situations
bringing
constantly.
them around to your friend's house who says don't bring Gary.
I was doing it for kicks, and yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I
it's-
understand.
If I did give you a
That's
save
okay.
the date, I was definitely not meant to give you one.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine, and I think it was the delivery of me not being invited that probably hurt the most. I think you could have probably done it a bit more civilly.
Okay,
That's
okay.
fine.
So Dave.
So
Okay,
then
so
when I did
yeah.
get my shit together, okay,
Continue.
and then
Okay.
approach you about the next wedding.
Yes. So I
that,
believe
that didn't make up for it. You were spiteful.
no, dude.
It sounds spiteful.
I
Okay.
don't know if I'm spiteful.
So,
I
so
did help
Dave,
you.
okay, no, so
I wasn't invited to the first wedding.
So basically, he didn't get invited to the first wedding. He whinged and whinged and whinged and whinged. Steve felt so bad that he convinced his missus. He goes, "Hey, so my friend that brought around that elderly schizophrenic guy that kind of like ruined our party, can I invite him to the wedding?" She's just like, "Jesus Christ, yes." Then Dave said no. Like you kicked up a stink in the middle of that.
he
night.
did
You
say-
begged for an invite.
He said, "Can I just come to the ceremony?" And then he has not given me a reason yet to why he could only come to the ceremony.
So how come you couldn't go to the ceremony, Dave?
What was that pitch for?
Well,
What was
I actually sent you some messages about it, and you didn't care to listen to.
Oh, the voice
Yeah,
messages.
the voice
Okay, all right,
messages
so
revealed
so,
why.
so basically what happened, I was going back and forth for a long time. Dave obviously had better things to do than go to like a very close friend's wedding. But in a panic, when Steve was roasting him about it, he sent Steve about 5 different voice messages that Steve literally has not listened to. And the message that
Because
Dave got in reply was, "Dave, I love you, but I'm going to save this for a podcast." Look what we're on right
And
now.
that's what we're doing now.
So Steve, so James, can we play these messages and we'll have a listen to the panic frenzy that Dave, I'm assuming, was in at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just make sure that we can actually hear things out of the speak. I'm going to turn it up like pretty.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, I'd be really keen to come to the wedding, Steve. I was just thinking, I know weddings are really expensive and, you know, they can be a big headache for coordinating things. So I was thinking maybe it'd be cool if I come to the ceremony, right? And then you guys can crack on later. I know that, like, with food and all that sort of stuff at the reception, it's very pricey.
Okay, so you realize that you just don't pay for like half a guest. Like you pay for like the whole thing.
And then I said that to you in a message after when
Yeah.
you said, "Can I just come to the ceremony?" I said, "The venue doesn't allow me to do that."
Yeah. So
Yes, and then
Dave, you're a thin guy.
Okay,
Like
then-
I don't know what you eat, but it's not much. It's not like it's going to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't get. Sorry, Emmy, we can't get that mortgage we wanted because
Oi,
Dave
mate.
like had access to the buffet."
Cody, did you stay?
Yeah,
in the reception?
yeah,
Yeah, James.
Yeah.
yeah. It was really nice.
Was it really difficult and
No, well, like,
was it stressful?
look, me and James both ate about $3,000 of food. So, like, you know, Steve was stressing the entire time. You know,
There is a follow-up message because although
Oh,
that
yeah,
does
there's
sound
4
like
others.
a full message,
Yeah.
it's actually not. So let's take a listen to the second one here, which is a bit shorter.
And sometimes I'm best in short bursts.
I agree with that.
He's tried the financial round. He's like, now he's tried the. You don't really like me, right?
I'm not.
I tell you what, and I think that audio message was a much better length than the first one.
I love that Dave's just like, look, you don't like me, but invite me to the most risky part of your wedding. like, I don't understand, Dave.
The bit I could ruin forever.
Like, yeah. So, is there more messages?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
there's
cool.
3 more.
Let's pull this out here.
And these are out of nowhere as well. This is Dave just going, "Could we call sometime?" And I'm not going to talk to Dave.
Here we go.
So with the box thing, is it okay if I make, say, a guest appearance? Or is it like being locked in for a few days where you all camp out with one another?
Yeah, it's
I
called
got a
it's,
box invite.
it's called a
Yeah, that you
Exposition.
also didn't go to.
like a mate's getaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like sort of like a fun social interaction that
Yeah.
I should be a part of, or is it something where I'm going to be locked in?
Yeah.
So Steve, for this funeral, can I just make a guest appearance? You know, I'll rock up, cry a little bit. I might be at the wrong venue, but I'll kind of be there for part of it.
I'll
It'll
be
be
there
fine.
in support.
Nervously sipping the water.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Okay, so there's more messages.
Yeah, I think
Fuck,
so.
man. You're digging this fucking verbal hole, dude. This is so bad.
I'm so glad I saved these.
I also like how in the first message it does reference like weddings are like a big like annoying
Yeah.
pain in the. I know that this is something you've been saving up for and like dreaming about and plan to. It's
I know,
like a very
like-
special day, but we all know that it's very annoying and.
Look, it's gonna suck. Do you want to invite me and make it suck more? All right, let's listen to the next message.
A lot of the time, I guess I don't want to make a fuss, and I don't want to lean on people. So I think sometimes it's best for me to kind of like get in, send some good vibes to everybody, and then leave a bit after that because, like I can be a bit draining or also, I think I have like sometimes some kind of like social anxiety, and if I'm like
Become a
in one
therapist.
particular situation, I get like nervous and I perhaps make a bit of a goof of myself.
I just want to add here that it does talk about the not wanting to lean on people unless an old woman shits in your car at 3:30 in the morning, and then
Yeah.
you do really want to lean on
So,
people.
so for anyone
You
that
really
hasn't,
want to get amongst it.
so for
when
anyone that
happens.
hasn't listened to our 50 hours of our other podcast, Dave basically held at ransom a heavily autistic woman that wanted to go home. Instead of taking her home, he wrapped her up in kebab foil. She shit herself in Dave's car, and then he got really passive aggressive with James. When James wouldn't get up at 3:45 a.m. in the morning when he worked at a bank to help clean shit out of someone else's car. So so he doesn't lean on people except when they're heavily intellectually disabled.
If you haven't worked it out yet, Dave is a very strange person.
Is there any more messages? Oh, this is getting so depressing so quick.
There's one more.
All right, we'll have to listen to the last one.
Alright, here we go.
And can you tell Emmy, thanks so much for that, and I'm glad, she saw another side of me at the party, and I promise not to be disruptive of your special day, and I won't invite Gary or any of my unique friends.
Oh my god! I like how your special promise to Steve is you won't invite uninvited guests. Not even uninvited,
Yeah,
people who
yeah.
were specifically told
Your-
not to bring.
Your promise is that I will come for a very brief period and try not to bring anyone crazy.
It's David Good Bloke Gardner over here.
That is such a low ball promise, and he didn't even meet that criteria because he didn't even arrive for the little bit.
Go at all.
Hey, he didn't bring anyone crazy, so he did fulfill half of the promise. But
Oh, fine. So look. Dave's energy is so weird in the room. It's like really making me feel so uncomfortable. I feel mentally as uncomfortable as Dave looks right now. But look. I reckon we put water under the bridge. You brought Steve a gift.
Yeah.
Can you show us
I
the gift?
saw a gift.
I passed it to him earlier.
Wow, real song and dance about this gift, Dave. It's just like, will you marry me? Fucking rings on the ground over there,
Yeah,
bitch.
look.
Like, I don't Dave, just be a bloke and actually give it to him nicely.
This is it. Dave arrived, couldn't have eye contact with me, and handed me something he obviously just got from Kmart this afternoon for $10.
And it looks like, if you can see this, so I'll go.
It's been opened.
It's been opened, and it looks like it's filled with urine. So,
Yeah.
thank you very much,
It's,
Dave. Very much. Look, can we have a little handshake just to ease some of the energy in this room? This is really fucking weird.
we need to capture this moment.
Yeah. All right. So,
Boys,
yeah.
is there a forgiveness? Do you accept the $8 gift from Kmart as restitution for missing out on a valuable experience in your life?
I'll accept Dave's continuous friendship, hopefully for years, and it will entertain me for a long time, and I'll probably go for another lot of period not speaking to you.
Dave, can you look him in the eyes at least? Okay.
I felt that it was a little bit ironic at the end. or a little bit passive aggressive about not wanting to speak to me, but it's fine. That's
Dave.
what I am accepting
Okay,
of.
well,
I
can-
accept
can-
you for who you
okay.
are, Steve.
All right, I'll reword it. I will reword it.
For anyone listening at home, for anyone listening at home, this is so fucking torturous. But Dave and Steve are slowly starting to look at each other. Okay, it's like two sundials working on different opposite ends of the globe, slowly turning into each other. Okay, so just fucking look at each other. Don't have so much dead air. Just speak. All right, there are people trying to listen to this shit. Just speak, please.
No, you know what? I'm not going to say sorry because I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you're annoyed
for
at
an
me.
apology?
Oh, wonderful! Like bringing people together here at Touch It Tuesday.
I just can't believe. I'm going to be your friend for a long time, Dave, hopefully. But the more bullshit you do, I'm going to let you know about every time you pull bullshit.
Okay.
That's your opinion.
I reckon we throw it out. Okay,
Facts.
guys. All right, we're just so much yelling back and forth about a wedding that no one knows about. Okay, so let's check it out to some of the listeners. Now, are you guys on Steve's side or you're on Dave's side? Okay, now if you're on Steve's side, what do you think Dave should have to do to get back in Steve's good book? Okay, so Steve's side, Dave's side. Have we got any comments so far, James?
Yes. Tyrion said he was stressed as he, in reference to weddings are stressful.
Yeah.
Tyrion said maybe Steve was stressed as he thought Dave was coming and as perhaps the celebrant. Which, who knows whether he would have been the celebrant or brought a mystery celebrant.
Yeah.
Emmy said it's okay, Dave. Dave is so sweet. Oh, Dave. Give Dave a hug, lol.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you get a hug through the screen from
thanks,
Emmy
Emmy.
there.
Yeah,
Liam-
sorry about that, Emmy.
Liam says Dave approaches every event like it's an invite to an escape room.
Go.
Can we have him on?
Yeah. There's
have
a bit
Liam
of space at the red mic, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyone else?
And Tyrion says just don't invite him to a private cremation.
All right, look, I reckon water under the bridge. Look, let's clear a bit of the air now. So some people may or may not know Steve. He's done a bunch of sketches. Rob Perkish. He's got a special online called "It Takes a Village to Raise an Idiot." He also did a web series last year. What's it called, Steve?
Beer's all right
Yeah, with who?
with me.
Yeah, so look up Beer's
It
Alright
looks
with
too
me.
new.
Or Beer's
I
Alright
don't
with
like
me.
it.
Dude, that's the point. Like, we paid so much
just
money.
Pause that for a second. So yeah, we're going to check out an episode of Beer's Alright with Steve White. Which one's this? Where are you visiting in this one, Steve?
This is number 4. So
It looks too new.
Oh, fuck me. All right, let me cut to the screen. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, folks. Stay tuned and then enjoy some quality.
It's
from
so
Steve.
humid in here from all the tension.
All right, let's go to here.
I'm very bored.
Here we go. Oh man,
Are we doing a commentary?
no, we're not.
It looks too new. I don't like it.
Dude, that's the point. Like, we paid so much money to refurbish it to make it look new.
Well, if we paid so much money, couldn't we put a digital clock in?
Dude, we have this conversation every time. We're not getting an Uber. We're 1 block away.
How about some other transport?
Like, what do you got in mind?
Tony Hawk? This place is beyond fancy. If I'm in an alleyway that doesn't smell like piss, I think that's fancy. What's this place called?
It's called Babylon.
What does that mean?
Well, Babylon Gardens were like one of the ancient wonders of the world.
That fits because it's a wonder that I'm let in here. This place is so nice. I feel like we're going to get a tap on the shoulder any minute. When I leave, it won't be with a handshake, it'll be with an arm bar. Delicious.
Did you really need to smack your lips for 3 minutes before saying one really obvious word?
Yeah, I did because I'm obviously out of my depth here.
Can you tell us about some of the fruity qualities?
Carrot, banana, you can't taste any of that. So it's a fruit.
You know why you can't taste any of that? Because neither of those things are in it.
Yeah, it's carrot. It said carrot. After a few of these, that looks like something I could paint. I'm roasting this painting, but it's probably worth more than my entire life. Like and subscribe and support all the beers and the venues that supported us throughout these videos. Cheers.
If it did, you could check out the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Beers All Right with Steve,
Steve
White. We did 5 All Out. We're planning on doing some more. We just got to work out.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, if you're a pub in the area, or you know of anyone that's got some hookups, we did have a hookup to a massive winery estate.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it started at the bottom right. So my cousin worked there. He loved it. Sent it to his manager. He loved it. Sent it to the regional manager. He loved it. He took it to the guy that the state is named after, and he said, "Not a chance."
Yeah, not it. That is.
We went through 5 layers of management to get to the big boss.
And then you kept telling me at each moment, you're like, this boss loves it, the other boss loves it. And I was pumped.
Let me just say, a massive, massive winery, like one of the biggest, and they also make beers. And 99% of the organization was so keen to get Steve up there, but the 1% that mattered just
The very big boss, man.
We had so much hope.
Why are you even showing this to me?
Like his license and the billboard out the side of the winery are the same words. So like, that's how fucking big this dude is. But yeah, so yeah, we shot some of those last year as well. All right, so now we're all mates. We're all okay. No more tension. I've turned on the air conditioner and fan because it fucking heated up in here.
Yeah.
It was getting so much rigid movement. Dave's back was making so much friction. It got about 40 degrees warmer in here.
There is still a back on that chair, Dave. I'm just telling you.
All right.
All mates.
I'm leaning back.
All of us just
You
chilling
need to
out.
lean forward.
Having
Yeah, you need to not do that as well. That's what you need.
So Dave, what have you been up to recently? Like, how's your week been spanning out?
James and I did a bit of a documentary on Sunday.
Now, when
that
you
was
say,
pretty cool.
When you say bit of a documentary, anytime you use a categorization or genre, it's never that thing. So what sort of like autistic Blair Witch did you make with your fucking camera out of focus?
I don't know if I'm autistic. You're misdiagnosing
Your work
me, I think,
definitely
maybe.
is. Okay.
To all the
you-
autistic watchers out
You're
there.
definitely on the spectrum here, Dave. I don't think you can flat out deny it.
It's not an insult when it comes.
It's like,
Because with Brady's a big fan of that movie with
Just
Ryan Gosling.
say what the movie
Right.
is. There's people
Right.
listening. You can't just, that's a great thing there. Like, you got to say
How
what
do
it is.
people listen to this?
It's a blind medium.
How do people listen to this?
'Cause it's going on
YouTube
SoundCloud as
and
well.
Facebook and
Yeah.
SoundCloud. Okay. Apologies to SoundCloud. So it's Drive by Ryan Gosling.
It's not by- it's Nicholas
he's
Winding Refn.
Refn, yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan
Gosling's-
Refn. It's like,
Yeah, okay.
I
Why are
hope
you
you've
such
got
a stickler? Let me give some exposition. We're all here
I
being
hope you've got
friends.
a point.
Have
I
some
really hope you've
looseness.
got a
fuck,
point.
man. This
The
is,
man who refused to name the movie now wants exposition.
just say your fucking point,
Okay.
Dave. You've been saying this for like 45 minutes. Fuck.
When
Oh,
Brady
yeah.
says something's autistic, it might not actually be that negative because in Drive,
Jesus Christ,
Ryan
dude.
Gosling plays a somewhat autistic man, and Brady's a big fan of the movie.
So,
He never said he wasn't a fan of you.
yeah.
He just said
You're
work's
the
autistic.
one took
You're
that.
the one that took that as in Brady
A bad
hates me
thing.
because I'm autistic.
I can
but-
just see it as maybe an
but I
epithet
don't hate you.
sometimes, at times. Can it be an epithet, or it's like, oh, Dave's autistic, he doesn't know what's going on?
No, that's just an explanation.
Alright, so
That's just an,
Okay.
moving
that's
forward.
an excuse for your behaviour.
This is some very
My back's straight once more. Fuck.
Okay, cool. How about we use a more old school word? You're very neurotic and weird. Okay, so yeah, we'll
There
stick
we
with
go.
that. Oh, but there's people
Unorthodox.
out there that are neurotic and weird. Is that an insult? Yes, it is. Okay, all right. So Dave,
Dave's
so
very unorthodox.
Let's get back on this.
fucking hell, dude.
Okay.
So okay,
Yes.
so are we done with describing things in the room without actually using descriptive words? Can we start talking about your quote unquote documentary?
I was helping James get in touch with his roots.
Okay, so if anyone is watching this right now, if you have a look at James, he's a very white dude. Now, James told Dave that he has some Jamaican in you.
West Indies, Chinese, Malaysian.
So now Dave always refers to James as, he's my mixed race friend. And I'm like, James is as white as the rest of us. So Dave's trying to get some sort of social cred through one of the whitest blokes I've ever met, James.
One of my best mates is mixed race.
I don't think he's trying out for any cricket teams anytime soon, Dave. I don't understand. So you're trying to help him get in touch with his roots. Now, in what way are you exploring that?
He's meeting one of my good friends, a man named Jesus, and he's Rastafari.
The way you said that, it sounded like you're making both those syllables up as you went along.
Yeah.
You went, Jez, what goes with Jez? Sauce? those sets of syllables have never been used in conjunction ever.
Yeah.
He's an interesting man.
Okay,
what
now-
have you been up to?
No. That's
Have you been
on the break.
up
That's
to
on the
on the
break.
weekend?
Now, usually if Dave is hanging out with what I would refer to as an elderly schizophrenic fuck freak, that's fucking really difficult to say. Dave just goes, he's a nice guy. Now, for Dave to say someone is quote unquote interesting, there must be some very, very weird shit going on. So
let's turn the ship around and listen to someone you think is interesting.
Dave just tried to get away from
Did
the
I tell
iceberg.
you-
We're going straight for the iceberg now.
Did I tell you I worked with Clive Palmer?
No,
Maybe
I
we can
don't
talk
know.
about
I
that
don't get.
story.
So Jezos. Well, let's call him your mate J Dog. All right. So tell us some idiosyncrasies about J Dog.
It's okay. Let's move on.
What makes him interesting?
I'm putting him on trial too. I don't feel like this is the right environment.
Dave,
I apologize.
Dave, when you bring up someone and then you say he's interesting,
Yeah.
this bloke is going to be one of the most interesting guys we've ever heard of. Okay, so if you're using a word as anodyne and boring is interesting, and for that to pique your interest, something fucking insane must be happening. So just tell us a little bit about this guy, because like Dave,
I don't want to spoil too much because it's coming out as a documentary.
No, Dave, you told me about this guy, so I'm going to give you a choice right now. I can say what you said about him to me, and I will say it verbatim, or you can. I'm going to give you the ability to say it with your words. Now, I'm going to say what you said, because I don't forget shit. All right, I will say exactly what you said,
Okay.
and it wasn't pretty.
He's a black man from Jamaica.
Yeah,
And
there was something
he's
else,
suffered
Dave.
a lot of persecution from white folk.
No,
Continue
there was something-
with your
oh.
persecution, Brady.
It's really interesting because if Dave's saying he's persecuted, there might be one more person in Newcastle persecuting him, David Gardner. Because Dave has said some, I wouldn't say unsavory things, but quite odd things about it. So, like, Dave, okay, look, you just say the one thing that's interesting about him, and I'll leave it. Okay, so then I don't have to say what you
He's
said.
Rastafarian.
No, there was something else. He said he's a little strange, something to do with his work / something. Dave, you can't just rub your eyes. It's radio. Okay, you need to be able to speak.
I don't want to go down this road. I apologize.
Okay.
Cliffhanger.
So Emmy chimed in and said, I bet he's from Mayfield. You are correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I know who you're talking about.
It's fine.
I think I know who you're
He's
talking
an interesting folk, and you will see, I mean, if Dave leaves in some of the things, because a lot of things, he was making a lot of sense, and then a lot of things were quite, you know...
Unorthodox.
Yeah, because isn't he into conspiracy theories and then like really heavy religious topics as well, and then some things along those lines?
Yeah.
Dave, this isn't bad.
You know what?
Like, if you bring up something, you have to be willing to
Okay.
talk about it. You can't just be like, well, here's this interesting thing, but it's a secret. Like, it's so annoying. You just like, you even dance around it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just because, you know, like, I've got these friends and then I talk about them to you and I feel like, oh, it's kind of like a little humorous thing. And then they get scrutinized and maybe overtly so around here. And I don't want to embarrass anyone because I have a respect and a love for them.
Maybe you shouldn't do it first. It's a
Yeah.
rating.
Like, but you said, but Dave, mate, this is like more of an off-air discussion. But if you say all these funny things to me off-air, then you bring up the same bloke, and I try to probe you on it, so you could say funny things to the audience, and then you just like backtrack really weirdly. That's a very strange, like really counterproductive thing to do. You realize that, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize, Brady.
Can we play that Biz Alright episode again? Just that we said once more.
We just repeat. Because if you didn't think the start was awkward enough,
Fucking hell,
This is just going totally off the
You can't
rails.
bring up shit and then not mention it.
Yeah.
You're like, so an interesting thing happened to me today that I'll never tell you about.
Yes.
Like,
No, it never actually happened.
hey, here's an anecdote that you'll never hear. Like,
It's like Edward Snowden going on the project and being like, I've made some pretty interesting discoveries. And they're like, oh, what is it?
That's-
I cannot tell you
yeah,
that.
look, they're top secret. I found them out, and I like to
Yeah.
keep them top secret. Thanks. I'm like, whoa, I see why he's been persecuted. Like, imagine if WikiLeaks were Licky Don't Leaks. Like, that's what you are right now. You're like reverse Julian Assange. Just you can't let us come. Like, I've got a bombshell that you'll never hear about. Like, I
Yeah,
don't.
it's a documentary. It'll be a documentary. Watch the documentary.
Oh yeah, a documentary
This
with
is
no
a taste
information.
of.
Yeah.
You'll be like, look,
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
right.
come off. He sounded like all these interesting things, but it didn't reflect him in the best light. So I just cut them out. So it's going to be him and a little like lower
Yeah.
third saying his name, and then like, oh, Finn. Like, it's going to be such a great documentary.
Don't you find trailers reveal too much of the story these days?
Sometimes you want the actual story to reveal
Yeah,
part of the story,
sure,
Dave.
Yeah.
And that'll be
I'm
in the
just,
documentary.
I'm just going to intersect here and just
Yeah.
say Dave's website's going to be called Iffy Leaks.
Yeah, Felix.
You never know.
I've worked in radio. I've worked with a lot of broadcasters. You're easily
can't believe
the
you
most
told a
difficult
story.
person. I mean, like,
You
here
told
comes
a
in-
story to Brady.
You let us in there.
and
It's
then
just like,
mention the person's name
Yeah.
to then just bizarrely go, oh wait, I don't want to.
Exactly.
I don't want to talk about it.
You know
Like,
that meme with like the car driving down the road and it's all like the smoke coming from the tires and takes like a detour? It's like we're going down this interesting story. Like, no, let's go off to boring dead air. Like, it's-
what are some other memes you've seen recently? James,
Okay, well,
what's a good meme
I'm going to
you've
intersect
seen?
because I do need to bail. If you are in Newcastle, stop watching this right now and come to the Kent. I'm emceeing in 15 minutes. And
oh shit.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I need to leave. But I'm just going to leave this red camera on for you so you guys are all close
Oh,
up.
Okay.
I'll swap with you.
Thanks.
Alright, so,
Well,
oh my
let me
God.
let me
so
throw
cool.
back
This
to
is-
you guys
I
here.
like it.
I might-
This is
yeah.
just like 4 hours
Great.
of trying to get Dave to tell a story. Okay.
I
You
feel
might want
kind
that.
of I feel kind of guilty because you've set all this equipment up, and then I come here and I don't really have much to
Yeah,
show.
you come here and add nothing. Is that what you mean?
No, look,
One way.
look.
No, you did. You half added something and then took it back.
I loaned the story.
No, when people
All right,
laugh.
so we're
There's
going to
use
say bye
out
to
of it.
James.
Right.
Okay, so all
Yeah,
right, I'm going to try to.
See
I'm
you.
going to try to panel this the best I can. Catch you later, dude. Have a good set. So yeah, if anyone's keen, James is going to be emceeing the Kent, despite what the poster says. Maddie B headlining as well. So if anyone wants to go down, check that out. So okay, cool. All right, so we're back on track. All right, Dave, I'm going to lend you an olive branch here. Okay, I'm going to give you a get out of jail free card. I'm going to give you the topic to open up. But let it be a topic we can fucking talk about. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's pretend we're starting right now. Oh, it's Touch It Tuesday. Here comes a non-confrontational show with a couple of guys having a good time. We've got Steve White. How's it going, Steve?
I'm great.
Oh,
I'm lovely to be with my friend Dave, who is going to tell a great
Some
story. And
Wonderful
not back out of
anecdotes.
it.
Wonderful anecdotes.
And he won't back out of it.
My name's Alan Brady, and my role here is to sort of like facilitate, keep it moving, and pull out little bits of information when someone says something interesting. And my good friend David Gardner over here does a lot of interesting things. We'll bring up interesting topics, which I'll probe him on, and then he'll go into more detail on it, and hopefully a very funny anecdotal way. Dave Gardner, the floor is
Hi.
yours.
Hey everyone. So I've been having some anxiety dreams because Steve has been very passive aggressive towards me and he's shunned me from his Facebook. He blocked me. The man blocked me.
No, I muted you on Messenger because you weren't saying anything I wanted to hear.
Okay. And yeah, anyway. Well, okay. Anyway, so I had these anxiety dreams.
So I made you have anxiety.
Yes, and I cut myself shaving. I've been a bit of a nervous wreck over the last week. I've been able to recover, and this is all I've mustered up, what I am now. And yeah, I had these anxiety dreams about going back to Woolworths, working at Woolworths. I haven't been to my Woolworths.
Steve,
No, yeah, so-
Steve's wife Emmy just chimed in. New topic.
Okay. I might have to get going.
No,
might have to get going for
Dave. Okay,
teaching.
Dave. Look, we want to do more of these. This has been a little bit of an unmitigated disaster, but like, let's end on a high note. Now, Dave, you've been filming a documentary. What are some of the topics that you've been actually looking at? Because you've been filming this for like months and months, and the thing with Dave is he hasn't been telling any of us exactly what it's about. Now, he was going to do one with Steve. It was going to be about a Shrek doll that's like up a telegraph pole.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening there?
Well, nothing, because I stopped speaking to him. And also, I just casually mentioned it, and then you wanted to make it a full. You wanted to make it a full thing.
You had it in your mind quite a bit. There's a Shrek doll up on a telegraph pole, a bit of one of the life's mysteries, as you could say. And you walked through a neighborhood. You saw it many times through the years, and you think about it at work.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And so
occasionally, yeah.
So I thought maybe there's a way of examining the Shrek doll, and perhaps this could be an olive branch. And would you like to make that documentary with me?
I will continue to try and work with you on it. But like I said before, you just have to be organised and communicate with me well.
I don't think that'll happen. I'm sorry.
Look. He doesn't want to
gonna fall off
make
the
promises he can't keep, Steve. Like that's obviously not going to be happening as well. So look,
feel free, Dave. You just use the Shrek doll and don't mention me in it at all. Go for your life.
So like, look, whilst this isn't really that entertaining, it's nice. There's a little bit of like conversation going back and forth.
nice.
Dave's starting and ending stories. It's he's kind of acting like a fucking broadcaster. Isn't that lovely as well? So the.
I think I've learned something. Have you learned anything, Grady?
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, all right. I had a gut feeling that this show, I think, will be good. Tonight definitely isn't a reflection of that. But I think it's like you need to have a couple of, like, Chernobyls in order to have a power plant that works eventually, okay?
Yes.
You need to have a few people that burn to death, an entire country that loses faith in the power that you've actually created, and then like loads and loads of other people that are sort of like heed your warning and make entertainment that's nothing like yours, okay? Despite that, I think we stick with it despite the bad public opinion and keep moving forward and just try to avoid pitfalls like starting a story then deciding we're not telling that story anymore. Have you learned anything, Steve?
Yeah, I've learned when I come back on this, hopefully it doesn't open with me and Dave arguing. Because I think that's what really killed it.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to read through like some of the comments quickly.
Give me some comments.
Okay. So Liam Cullen says, spying on people while giving commentary isn't making a documentary, Dave. Liam also says, calling you autistic isn't an insult, Dave. It's a life sentence. Emmy says he's from Mayfield. Chris Wedlock wants to know if there's hand sanitizer involved in that. Dave, you can't be like packing up. This is not like the last couple of minutes before like your last period on a Friday at high school, Dave.
You're waiting for the bell to go.
Dave, if you don't want to put on, like, if you don't want to be here, the audience doesn't want to watch you. Just drop your bag for a second.
And at least let us say goodbye and end with some dignity.
I know. It's just like they're doing a 5-minute stand-up set. Your last joke, you're already walking off the stage. You're just telling it from like as you're getting in your car door. Like, you're calling your Uber and like finishing off the last punchline. Like, Dave, if you don't want to be here, who's gonna want to watch? He's actually got his backpack. He's at high school. He's basically out of the fucking room. Like we want to involve the audience, and it involves you going, well, fuck them. Like,
reading comments of people that care to have watched and stayed through this, and you're, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go.
Apologies. I gotta teach these Chinese kids.
Okay,
I'm a busy man.
So Liam says Apocalypse Now is a less troubled production than Dave Shrek documentary. Actually, Nick Phillips is also watching, and he loves train wreck fucking disaster comedy. So, like, maybe this is something that he'll get a boner to a little bit later on as well. Now, Dave, would you like to do anything to say goodbye for this like very, very fucking weird first
Apart
episode?
from just get up and leave.
Yeah, you want to do your goodbye from the car, or like, fucking hell? Okay, he had his little backpack on. He was ready to go. They won't say goodbye. He was just not going to be in the studio. Imagine the footy show of Fanny Vaughan. He's like, no, it's fucking 5 to 8. He's in the car.
Gone.
Exactly.
Happy hour. It's not my fault the tape went long.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to go.
It's fucking Trump's address to the nation. He does the last 10 minutes from the fucking pub. Like, Dave, like, you're supposed to look at the cameras here. We've got people watching.
Well, it's the Pope. You know, the Pope comes in on the podium. Millions come out for the Pope, and he's like, oh God.
He's just like, keep the Pope-mobile engine warm. I'm going to be there.
He keep the boat van running.
Fucking hell.
He's already taken off his
You're
jewellery.
a fucking lunatic. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking
All
hell.
right, thank you very much. You got to go teach.
Oh, fucking
Hooray.
disaster.
Thank you, Steve.
Hey, thanks very much for listening. If you got any comments or anything, leave them in there. We'll try to make the next one slightly less mental. Leave some shit in the comments. If you want your face on this thing for next week, on the screen in the background, just like I said, it's a picture of your face on the face. What the fuck would you want your face on this?
Dave didn't want his face.
All right, we're fucking going.